I ain't never took from no nigga. I always bless niggas.
But why niggas keep saying that shit, though? Stop, know what I'm saying? Why niggas keep saying that shit, bro? Like, everybody, producer, all these folks be like, man, nigga don't pay, bro.
Wait, bro. I had some incidents early on.
Yeah.
Because I was really young in this shit. I ain't know no better.
And in New Orleans, you know, that name way before there was rap, before there was a Cash Money Records, that name held weight. You know, my mama went to school with him. My mama was so scared for me to even be involved with him.
You and Wayne had like a kiss thing going on.
Facts. I know you got a child. You probably kiss him. You probably got a son and you kiss him.
Yeah.
You heard me? I always looked at Wayne as my son.
That's a delivery too. Big Lack. How you doing, Wayne? Big everything good?
Birdman is finally spilling the tea on his rocky fallout with Lil Wayne, and from the way things sound, these two legends still haven't fully patched things up, even after all these years. Fans thought the bad blood was behind them when photos surfaced last year of Birdman and Weezy linking up in the studio, smiling like the old days. They even told the world they were cool now, but the truth? The tension is still hanging heavy in the air. The cracks showed in public when Wayne straight up walked off stage while Birdman was speaking during a reunion show. And if that wasn't enough, Birdman himself admitted that Wayne refused to perform with him at Essence Festival. That move had the crowd whispering, something's still not right. Now, everyone who's been following this saga knows the whispers. Birdman supposedly never paid Wayne what he was owed. That money situation has been the biggest shadow over their relationship. Finally, Birdman decided to address it head-on during an interview on the Big Facts podcast. He insisted their relationship is still father and son at the end of the day, but he also revealed some eye-popping numbers. According to Birdman, Wayne demanded $30 million, and in Birdman's words, he cut him a $20 million check on top of what had already been given in hopes of squashing the drama. But here's the catch. Birdman made it sound like he was being generous, like Wayne should have been satisfied. That right there is why fans are debating all over again. Was Wayne shortchanged, or did Birdman really give him what was fair? But looking at how Wayne's been moving lately, it's crystal clear he's not ready to bury the hatchet with Birdman. Back in March, fans saw the tension firsthand when Lil Wayne and the Hot Boys walked straight off stage while Birdman was in the middle of giving a speech. The message couldn't have been louder. Wayne doesn't want to stand next to him, not even for a reunion moment that could have been historic.
Perk locked up for 9 years. Freshman cut up. All right, let's go.
And if you've been paying attention, you already know Wayne still drops slick little jabs at Birdman and his music to this day. Every line makes it clear they'll never go back to being what they once were. Birdman did Wayne dirty in ways that can't just be forgotten overnight, and some wounds cut too deep to ever really heal. These Hot Boy appearances, many fans think Wayne's only doing them to support his brothers from the crew, to help them get some shine and some bread. But when it comes to Birdman, he's keeping that distance sharp. So what really went down between Baby and Weezy? Was it just stacks of cash left unpaid, or is there something way more personal at play? That's the real question. To understand it, you gotta rewind. Lil Wayne first crossed paths with Birdman when he was just 8 years old, a kid with crazy talent looking for direction. Wayne's father had already stepped out of the picture when he was a toddler, so Birdman quickly slid into the mentor role. Already a local legend in New Orleans, Birdman became someone Wayne looked up to, and Lil Wayne would call his answering machine just to leave rhymes, hoping to impress him. At first, Wayne's mom, Jacida Carter, wasn't feeling the relationship at all. But everything changed after her second husband, Wayne's stepdad, Reginald Rabbit McDonald, was tragically taken away.
Never took from no nigga. I always bless niggas.
But why niggas keep saying that shit, though? Stop, know what I'm saying? Why niggas keep saying that shit, bro? Like, everybody, producer, all these folks be like, man, nigga don't pay, bro.
Wait, bro. I had some incidents early on.
Yeah.
Because I was really young in this shit. I ain't know no better. But every problem I had, I cleared it up.
Oh, you saying any nigga that ever fucked like they got fucked
I
on?
cleared it up.
Yeah.
I paid any nigga that got...
That loss broke the family, and with Birdman stepping in as a father figure, Jacida allowed Wayne to chase his dream. Just 3 years later, at only 11 years old, Wayne signed with Birdman's Cash Money Records as part of the duo the BGZ, and that moment sparked nearly 2 decades of a father-son type dynamic that shaped the entire rap game. Birdman and Wayne were seen as untouchable. Mentor and protege turned into rap royalty. But after almost 20 years of that bond, everything started to collapse publicly in 2014 when cracks finally showed. The breaking point, the Carter V delay, that album was supposed to be Wayne's crown jewel the project fans had been begging for. But when it kept getting pushed back, Wayne had enough. He took to Twitter and set the internet on fire, openly calling out Birdman and putting him on blast for blocking the release. That wasn't just an artist frustrated with business, it was a man who felt betrayed by someone he once called family. Wayne didn't hold back either. He compared himself to a prisoner, saying his creativity was being chained up by the very label that was supposed to back him. And then he wrote a raw message that fans still talk about today. To all my fans, I want you to know that my album won't and hasn't been released because Baby and Cash Money refused to release it.
You remember? Because I was young, but remember, I'm telling you, I'm 20 years old.
Yeah.
So a lot of shit happened early on. I just ain't know. But any nigga that had any problem from my son on down, and I gave him 50 million, I cleared it up, brother. Because I ain't want my name like that, especially with Wayne. That's like I'm nothing without this dude. Like, that I didn't want, but it happened, but I aired that shit out.
This is not my fault. I am truly and deeply sorry to all my fans, but most of all to myself and my family for putting us in this situation. I want off this label and nothing to do with these people, but unfortunately, it ain't that easy. I'm a prisoner, and so is my creativity. Again, I am truly sorry, and I don't blame y'all if you're fed up with waiting for me and this album, but thank you. That statement rocked hip-hop to its core. Nobody expected Wayne to publicly air out Birdman like that, and it exposed how bad things had really gotten behind the scenes. But that was only the warm-up. Wayne came swinging harder than ever when he dropped Sorry for the Wait 2 on January 20th, 2015. And he laced that mixtape with non-stop shots at Birdman and Cash Money Records. On the track Coco, Wayne rapped like a man who had nothing left to lose. His bars hit sharp. Who kept this thing together? Me, that's who. Who was there when ninjas left me? That's who. Cash Money is an army. I'm a one-man army. Those lines weren't just clever. They were a direct reminder that he carried the entire label on his back, and he didn't stop there. Wayne got even more venomous, saying, "The garden's full of snakes, so I had to escape." And then he broke the myth that he was simply Birdman's little protege, rapping Birdman Jr., more like Ugly Duckling. That wasn't rap beef anymore. That was Wayne dismantling the entire father-son storyline they had built up for decades. But the real bomb dropped the same month. Sorry for the Wait 2 hit the streets. Wayne filed a $51 million lawsuit against Cash Money. He wasn't just asking for money, he wanted freedom. He accused Birdman of sitting on millions that were rightfully his and demanded the court rip up his contract. On top of that, he asked for the rights to continue working with Nicki Minaj and Drake, the biggest stars that Young Money had launched. And Wayne wasn't backing down 1 inch. Even while the lawsuit was pending, he kept taking shots. Just 2 months later, he fired off another diss during the Up Next cypher with Young Money Entertainment. Wayne was so fed up, he turned his pain into pure fire on stage and in his rhymes. He rapped, "I thank y'all for my hit, man, and tell Pac I'm a big fan. I sing Dear Mama to my dear mama, and sing Hit 'em Up to my daddy," making it clear that his family wounds and label drama were now fueling his art.
As long as y'all in existence, y'all gonna have to break bread with Manny Fresh. You know what I'm saying? And if it was just a simple concept of give this man his money, we would be all right. I went out, got a song from Wayne. Cash Money boycotted the song. And it's just like, 35 of them had a problem with you. The same problem, the same issue.
Then, just a few weeks later in April 2015, during a show in Jacksonville, Florida, Wayne didn't bite his tongue at all. He stood on stage and yelled out, "Fuck Cash Money!" The crowd went wild, but that moment took the beef to another level, because after that, things turned way darker than anyone expected. The tension between Wayne and Cash Money wasn't just about contracts and courtrooms anymore. Suddenly, it spilled over into the streets. On April 26, 2015, after performing at Compound nightclub in Atlanta, Wayne and his crew, Lil Twist, Hood, and others, loaded up into his tour bus, just trying to make it back safely. But once they hit the highway, another car pulled up alongside them and unleashed a spray of bullets. Wayne's bus was riddled with shots. Glass shattered everywhere and panic set in. By some miracle, no one was physically hurt, but the message was chilling. Somebody wanted Wayne to know it was bigger than rap now. Investigators later pointed the finger at Jimmy Carlton Winfrey. better known as Pee Wee Roscoe, who was not only tied into the Atlanta scene, but also a known associate of Young Thug. And considering Thug was just then rising as Birdman's new protege while Wayne was beefing heavy with Cash Money, the connections had fans questioning if this was more than just coincidence. Thug's close bond with Birdman only made the speculation wilder. Fans couldn't ignore the timing. Birdman beefing with Wayne, Thug calling himself the new wave of Cash Money, and then a shooting tied to one of Thug's associates. The streets connected the dots instantly, even if nothing was ever proven. The narrative of Wayne versus Birdman had suddenly stretched into something way bigger than just music contracts. And while the trial over Wayne's tour bus shooting was still making headlines, Wayne shocked the industry by making a bold chess move. Out of nowhere, he signed a streaming deal with Jay-Z's platform TIDAL. The deal came with a bombshell, the release of his long-awaited Free Weezy album. And just like fans expected, Wayne used the project to throw more shots at Birdman, especially on the track He's Dead.
Number one. Can I say something, bro? Damn, bro, it feel amazing, bro. To be home, bro, fucking with my son. I love that nigga to death. I don't know what y'all know, but I know what the fuck I know, and I know how I feel about what I know. I knew this day was gonna come, but I ain't know when it was gonna come. But this nigga right here, the best nigga, the realest nigga, the illest nigga, and I wanted to apologize to my nigga worldwide to let them know that, you know what? That nigga put his life in my hands, and I'm gonna keep it real with that nigga. We're gonna do this shit till the day we die. It's why I'm CMB for debt, nigga. Fuck you. You heard me? What's up, fuck?
Where the lyrics cut sharp, leaving no doubt who he was aiming at. The move wasn't just about music, it was about power. Signing with Tidal made Wayne not just an artist, but an owner. He finally had leverage outside of Cash Money's grip, but Birdman wasn't about to let that slide. He clapped back by hitting Jay-Z and Tidal with a $50 million lawsuit over the release, claiming they had no right to drop Wayne's work. That's when things got even uglier in the paperwork. New legal filings exposed Wayne's attempts to push Birdman completely out of Young Money. See, when Wayne created Young Money under the Cash Money umbrella, the split was 49% to Wayne and 51% to Birdman's Cash Money, giving Birdman the upper hand. But in the new filings, Wayne accused Birdman of straight up robbing him and his artists by withholding royalties. And then came the real bombshell. Wayne claimed Birdman pocketed more than half of a massive $100 million advance from Universal Music Group. Money that was supposed to be split fairly between them. That revelation had fans stunned because it wasn't just about Wayne being shorted. It meant Nicki, Drake, and the entire Young Money roster were being cheated too. Just weeks after those explosive court filings, things got physical. After performing at Club Live in Miami, Lil Wayne suddenly found himself in the middle of chaos when drinks were hurled at him from the crowd. What made it worse? Rumors swirled that Birdman and his entourage were chilling in the VIP section right where those drinks came flying from. Fans immediately started speculating, was this just coincidence, or was it another layer of Birdman versus Weezy spilling out in public? Remember, the delay of Thaw Carter 5 was the spark that made their feud blow up in the spotlight. But in reality, the problems between them had been brewing for years behind the scenes. Cash Money had a long, messy history when it came to money disputes, shady royalty breakdowns, and late payments that never quite added up. Birdman and his brother Ronald Slim Williams were running the empire, but plenty of artists under their wing had stories of being shortchanged. Wayne might have been the only one bold enough to drag Birdman into a courtroom, but he wasn't alone in feeling cheated. Tyga called out the label for not paying him.
When Wayne had like a kiss thing going on.
Facts. I know you got a child, you probably kiss him. You probably got a son and you kiss him.
Yeah.
You heard me? I always looked at Wayne as my son, and I always looked at it like, because I was in the streets, and I thought this might be the last time they ever see me. That's where that shit came from, started from, and I always today look at Wayne as my child. I was his father when he didn't have a father, since he was 9 years old.
Right.
And I love him like my own, and I give my life for him, and I'll take a life for him.
Legendary producer Manny Fresh revealed his frustrations with missing checks. Even Bangladesh, the man behind hit beats like A Millie said he was never properly compensated. It painted a bigger picture. Cash Money wasn't just a powerhouse. It was a business clouded by accusations of artists being robbed of what they earned. But then, in a move nobody saw coming, the tone shifted. By 2016, whispers in the media claimed Birdman and Wayne were finally sitting down and working toward peace. And by August 2018, at Wayne's own Lil Louisiana Fest in New Orleans, fans got a shocker. Birdman walked out on stage and publicly apologized to Wayne in front of thousands. After years of lawsuits, diss tracks, and even street drama, that apology felt like a historic moment. Birdman's public apology to Wayne at Lil Louisiana Fest in 2018 had fans thinking the beef was finally squashed once and for all. Seeing Birdman hug Wayne on stage and admit he was wrong felt like history being rewritten right in front of our eyes. For a moment, it looked like the father and son bond was back on track. And maybe, just maybe, the years of betrayal, lawsuits, and shady money talk were behind them. But if you've been watching closely, the energy hasn't stayed so smooth. Sure, they've been spotted together since, and they even shared studio time again, but the tension still leaks out. Little things like Wayne dodging Birdman on certain stages or sly comments in interviews show that the scars run deeper than what a hug and apology can fix. Fans keep asking the same question. Is this brotherhood for real, or just a business patch-up to keep the Cash Money legacy alive? And let's not forget, the money drama that started this whole mess hasn't fully disappeared. People are still debating whether Wayne ever truly got what he was owed. And Birdman's name continues to pop up in conversations about unpaid royalties and shady deals. No matter how much they smile for the cameras, the receipts from the past are still out there. At the end of the day, this saga is bigger than just two men. It's about loyalty, respect, and the price of building an empire in the rap game. Birdman and Wayne changed hip-hop forever, but the cracks in their story show how fast trust can crumble when money and power get in the mix. Now here's where things take a turn that fans have debated for years, and it all traces back to those old clips of Birdman kissing a young Lil Wayne on the lips. The footage resurfaced online countless times, sparking endless speculation. Birdman later brushed it off, saying it was nothing more than a gesture of father-son love. But not everyone bought that explanation. There's never been any concrete proof of anything inappropriate, yet the optics alone left many fans unsettled. The debate refuses to die down. To this day, entire threads on Twitter, TikTok, and Reddit light up whenever those videos resurface, with people arguing whether it was harmless affection or something that crossed a line. Some Weezy supporters are vocal about it. One fan flat out wrote, "Lil Wayne was absolutely groomed by Birdman, period." Another clip that adds fuel to the fire comes from a 106 and Park appearance where Wayne told the audience he was the only one who kissed Birdman, and the way he said it, serious and almost defensive, made fans raise their eyebrows even more. That moment especially made people wonder about the kind of bond they had behind closed doors. Critics have even compared Wayne's loyalty at the time to a Stockholm Syndrome type response, like he was too deep in that relationship to question it. While nothing has ever been proven, the discussion around it continues to shadow their legacy, showing just how complicated, controversial, and layered the Birdman-Wayne story really is. The conversations online only get more intense when fans start comparing Birdman and Wayne's dynamic to other controversial relationships. One comment that went viral said, "All I see in their bond is predator and prey, no different from R. Kelly and Aaliyah. Disgusting." Another fan claimed the public only knows the tip of the iceberg, hinting that what really went on behind the scenes might have been even darker than anyone can imagine. Now, whether those claims hold weight or not, the fact that people still bring them up shows how deep this story cuts. What started out as a celebrated father and son duo in hip-hop has, for years, carried undertones of mistrust, secrecy, and unanswered questions. And while the lawsuits and money drama alone would have been enough to stain their relationship, fans can't help but wonder if there's another layer of pain Wayne never speaks on publicly. At the end of the day, Birdman and Lil Wayne's legacy together is legendary, but it's also tangled in controversy that refuses to fade away. Some people believe Wayne is simply scarred by the millions he fought for in court. Others feel he's haunted by something deeper. something personal, something he may never fully forgive. So what do you think? Is this saga really just about money and contracts, or is there a side to Wayne's story that we'll never hear out loud? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I want to know how you see it. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, because the next story brewing in our hood is just as wild and you don't want to miss it.